Our panel right now, Scott Blakeman is a political comedian.
And he can be heard regularly on National Public Radio. Here he is, Scott Blakeman.
Even in the saddest situations of the world, there's humor.
I just found out it's the 225th anniversary of the Constitution, and I have to say it looks really good for its age. A little parched, but I'm not a constitutional scholar. I'm a comedian, but I did find that I think my knowledge of the Constitution is similar to my knowledge of Jewish holidays. You know, I have a general idea of what they all are, but I'm a little shaky on the specifics. I think as comedians we're optimists. I find the Constitution very optimistic, as opposed to the talking partisan heads on television who always say they know what's in the Constitution. And it's pretty amazing that they got it together, first of all. I mean, it took about 100 days to write a Constitution for a whole new country. I mean, can you imagine Congress today? They can't even figure out when to meet next in 100 days. So and they had, 12 layers of clothing, no air conditioning. I think it was a pretty amazing thing that they did. If I was a political comedian in other countries, I mean, you read every day about political comedians being arrested for just poking fun at the government. Here in America, if you poke fun at the government, you may not get on the late-night TV shows, but you're allowed to say whatever you want.
And how about making the Defense Department have a telethon? We have a lot of countries we'd love to attack, but we can't do it unless those phones are ringing.
What we always have to remember in this country is that the most important speech to protect is a speech that you hate. Could be parts of my act, whatever.
Thank you.
Well, I guess maybe the only thing that inhibits your First Amendment right to say whatever you want is just our 24-hour media cycle, where they're just desperate to find any little word or part of a sentence that they could seize upon, even if it's totally out of context.
The fundamentals of our economy are strong. But
the private sector is doing fine.
We should encourage people to express themselves, not inhibit them in any way. We do have freedom of speech in this country, but unfortunately it seems like people aren't really listening to what people say, and people just focus on labels. Here's the liberal, here's the conservative, say something, okay, good night. We need to be able to talk to each other, have a civil conversation. That doesn't mean not have strong points of view. Well, I'm happy to take part in the campaign for the American conversation, because we need to have a conversation. We need to promote dialogue in this country, not just screaming and yelling at each other and storming out of the room.
The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
I think that's what, in a sense, that comedians do. We try to bring an audience together and connect. We need to bring people together. We have such serious problems. We need to really talk about the issues in a civil, substantive way, and that's the only way our country is going to move forward.